make a bathroom break before we start?
No.
All right.
No, I'm good.
All right.
Yeah, and we're streaming.
I'll start off with a Patreon statement and then go into our intro. Okay.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, whenever. I'm not even going to count you in. Just...
Yeah, perfect. This episode of Nintendo Dads is brought to you by patreon.com/NintendoDads. For as little as $1 a month, you can help Zach, Jesse, and myself create amazing content that's centered towards Nintendo and being a parent and just talking all the great things that are Nintendo. So, if you're interested, go over to nintendodads/patreon.com. Actually, that's the wrong one. It's patreon.com/NintendoDads. But either which way, you know where to find us. Yep. Welcome to Nintendo Dads episode 60. On tonight's episode, we're joined by Josh Thomas from TheBitBlock to discuss his thoughts on the current and future state of Nintendo, plus his new series called Make Believe. It's pretty awesome, so you should definitely watch it. Hey, Zach, cue the music.
Oh, no, I wasn't ready. Hang on.
Seriously, God.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Nintendo Dads podcast. My name is Zach Erickson, and tonight is January 13th, 2016. Joining me tonight for another evening of Nintendo shenanigans is Justin Masson. What's going on tonight, Justin?
Man, I am excited. Obviously tongue-tied though. I don't like. I write the intros. I don't understand how I can actually slip on them. But eventually I'll get this right. 60 episodes and I still can't get it right.
Yeah.
Speaking of not getting things right, Jesse Waldak, VG Tribune. Jesse, what's going on, buddy?
I think I'm doing things pretty well. I did some enhancements to my studio, though I think I need to add a little lighting here, and hopefully I sound better than I have in the past due to my updates.
Yeah, man.
You definitely look a little more professional.
Yeah, dude, it's awesome. Joining us as well, exciting addition to the show tonight, Josh Thomas from TheBitBlock.com. What's going on, Josh?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
It is going awesome, dude. It is awesome to have you on the show. We've been meaning to have you on for a while, and it's just great to have you here, dude. It's awesome.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm excited. I'm a little annoyed that my good buddy Roger made it on here before me. I feel a little bit shunned, if I'm being honest. But
Well,
I'll deal with it.
Part of that is because Roger and I used to co-host an old podcast called VG Tribune Roundtable like 5 years ago, and so I've known Roger for a while.
Okay,
I still think we should
slip.
just kind of Bring you and Roger in together and just fight like a dynamic duo of.
We'll have Roger do one of his Smash videos with the Amiibo costumes. He just put one out with Ray versus Kylo Ren. Did you see that?
I did not. I didn't. You know what, though? You know what I do think we need to do right away is head into the news.
Do it.
Right on. All right. Well, thanks again, Josh, for being on the show. It is good to have you here. And yeah, it's actually been a few weeks since we had actual news, right? Because last week we did our predictions. The week before that, we did our game of the year.
Yeah, this is the first time we've had a normal format in almost a month.
Yeah.
With a week off for the holidays.
Yeah.
2 special shows.
So this week we had actually is a surprisingly full news week, actually, as far as stuff that we can talk about. First up on our list was Box Boy 2 was announced in Japan. I'm assuming it's probably, like a month or two, like a month away for here?
I don't understand why this game is like a month away from coming into North America.
Because there's so much translation.
Yeah, what's the localization for Box Boy? Change the title from Japanese to English? You got Box Boy.
They came out again, or at similar times for the first one, didn't they?
Pretty close.
Yeah.
Josh, you've been playing. You had a chance to go hands-on with Box Boy 2, correct?
Yes, I did.
What were your impressions of it?
Well, first of all, speaking in terms of the translation, it's funny because there's no text in it to even tell you what to do. The tutorials just show you a button to tell you what to do. So
yeah, that was the joke.
By now.
We knew there was no
okay.
text.
I just wanted to clarify that.
Funny 'cause it's
That's what I do. I'm sarcastic.
because you're right though. There's nothing there, which makes me think it's coming pretty soon. But how do you like it?
Yeah. It's really fun. It's somewhat similar to the original one, but they have added in some new things. One of the features I really like that they added in is you no longer can only throw one set of the blocks. I don't know if you guys play the original, but you'd make your blocks and then you'd throw them, and if you made another set of blocks, those other ones would disappear. Now you can have more than one set of blocks on stage at a time, and that really opens up the puzzle. I think the puzzle element definitely, it feels more interesting to me, just that alone.
Oh, really cool. Yeah, I'm seeing here they also have added color, which is...
That is it's a huge plus. I am a guy who is obsessed with colors and bright, vibrant Technicolor, and so the first Box Boy being entirely black and white, while it's a neat style, I think that it's better to have some color injected into it.
Yeah, that was the big bummer for me on the first one too. Like it ended up being a really fun game, but a different aesthetic would have upped that quite a bit, I think, for me. So, I mean, it looks like it's literally just like, you know, a single color, you know, box or something, but it's pretty cool.
I liked in your video, Josh, you mentioned that this is an example of a game on the 3DS that doesn't use 3D.
3D, yeah.
Do you think it definitely needs it, or is it? I mean, you know, it's tough being as it is, you know, boxes and they're relatively flat, but you know, could they add a third dimension that's actually going to create a different kind of game experience?
So yeah, I mean, I don't think anything needs 3D. Like, I don't think movies need 3D, and most games don't need a 3D effect. But I feel like if it's on the 3DS, you know, why not design it to where you can view it in 3D? And especially because, like, if you've played games like Mutant Mudds on the 3DS, that's a 2D game, but you get that really neat plane effect. Yep. So even if for a visual reason, I kind of feel like, you know, you could still make it 3D. It's just a small little gripe that I had, that like whenever I have a 3DS game and I'm playing it for the first time and I notice that the little 3D light is not even coming on, I always feel a little bit like, you know, why is it not in 3D?
Yeah, I remember early on in the show I had made similar comments about, what was it, Citizens of Earth?
Yeah.
Man, that bugged me when it was like you buy this game and it's like pixel art. One of my favorite games to play in 3D is Shovel Knight, for exactly that reason. You know, like it's just got really great depth. So, but yeah, so in this particular case, I feel like it's like, I don't know what depth you're gonna get because the art style is so simple.
Right.
But it looks, yeah, I'm interested to see when this comes out. Any guesses? You guys think like fairly soon? I don't know.
I mean, when it was launched in Japan, it was like, hey, by the way, it's available now, right? Like there was no lead up to this; it was instant. So I can only imagine, you know, if we get a direct in January, that's an if, right? I mean, there's always rumors of it, but I feel like it'd be oh, by the way, this is available now. So in the next couple months, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I would assume. I mean, January, February, March, those are usually really slow months for game releases, so it seems like this would make sense.
And I mean, there's nothing really on the 3DS lineup for the next, 4 months, so they need to pad it out.
Are you?
Yeah, I mean, Mario and Luigi just came out, or it's coming out this month, right?
Yeah, 2 weeks from now, or a week from now. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
I mean, that's in a lot of ways. I am definitely being quite sarcastic there. I mean, like we've already got a lot on the 3DS going on in the next 4 months, right? This feels like, is this where we want to be doing some extra padding?
Yeah, because we've got Paper Jam, we've got Fire Emblem next month.
We've got every RPG under the sun between February and April.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, but yeah, I'm excited to see this game come out here as well. And it's just nice to see the eShop thriving still, just nice to have that going on.
Yeah, definitely.
Right on. Let's head on to the next story, which is the Pokemon 20th anniversary celebration that's going on. We all kind of knew that it was interesting because last year Pokemon they had their like super mystery dungeon or whatever, which I think kind of just came across like a wet fart in the wind. I don't know. And
wow,
show title right there, folks. The show title's right there.
Just like that old saying goes. And I think that it's interesting now. Like we're 20th anniversary. It's going to be exciting to have that. That coming across. So we've got the Pokemon Company announcing for the whole year they've got all sorts of stuff going on. Now, Josh, were you a Pokemon? Like, how much are you into Pokemon? I'm not. If I remember, you're not huge into it, are you?
No, I love Pokemon Snap, and I think that game is absolutely amazing. Beyond Pokemon Snap, I'm pretty much out of my comfort zone.
Okay, did you play the originals even, or not really?
I did not. No.
Okay, cool. So this is this something you're interested in, like with the remake or the re-release of the original games coming out? is that something that you're excited about, or something that you're just kind of like, meh, I don't know? Like, how are you feeling about all of that?
Well, I mean, I played. I think the first like legit Pokemon game that I played was Black and White, Pokemon Black and White.
Sure, yeah.
And I felt like, as somebody who's never played the series before, that was like a lot to take in, and I felt like they were kind of taking for granted a lot of the like items and terminology and all this stuff. So it was just way too much for me. So I guess theoretically, if I played one of the very first games that was, ever made, that would probably be something that's easier to begin with.
And you'll have your chance to do so next month.
There you go. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I guess I'm a little bit excited about it in that regard, but how long it will take me to get around to checking those out, I really do not know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. So that basically what they've announced here is we got a really cool new 3DS, just a regular size 3DS. I've said before, like, I have a lot of nostalgia for the original Pokemon Blue, and to see this new 3DS with that old school Blastoise art on there, the cover plates, I wish that I had the money to transfer my game saves and whatever onto this new 3DS, because it's just sweet looking. But that's coming out with Red and Blue pre-installed. We've got the and as well just other games that are going on this year. They've said Pokemon Go and what was the other one? Pokemon Tournament. We've got the first 3 Pokemon movies are being re-released digitally, remastered on Blu-ray. As well as digitally. We've got some other merchandise going on, some like special Nendroid figure, lots of stuff on PokemonCenter.com. Anyway, tons of stuff going on. It is the year of Pokemon for sure. So
well, and that's kind of the question that I'm asking, right? I mean, for those of you who don't know, this is the 20th anniversary of Pokemon. So now the Pokemon company is not. They're not. I mean, they work with Nintendo. They're separate companies, correct?
I'm not entirely sure what the relationship is between those two companies, honestly. Like, I don't know if it's...
I think Nintendo may partially own stock in them, but they definitely can do their own things, and they have.
If the Pokemon company is doing this for their 20th anniversary, we had better see something really, really good from Nintendo for Metroid and Zelda's 30th.
Aye.
Right? Like, I don't know, Josh, what do you think of that?
I mean, you're going to definitely see something about Zelda for the 30th, but
sure.
I don't know if Nintendo remembers what Metroid is. We'll have to remind them.
I hope getting Zero Mission tomorrow is not all we get.
Oh, no, don't worry. We've got Federation Force coming.
Federation Force.
That is, yeah, that's true. And you know what? At E3, I was like actually one of the few people that was positive about Blast Ball. And then I played Rocket League, and I was like, oh, okay, well, this is Blast Ball, but way better, so I guess I don't need Blast Ball anymore. Yeah. So I don't know what I'm looking forward to with that game anymore. But you know what? Who knows? Maybe Next Level Games is going to take all that hate they got at E3 and turn this game into something amazing and show us all a thing or two.
Well, I think that's why we haven't heard boo about it since E3, right? Like, I think they're like, well, I guess we'll bring that one back to the drawing boards, kids.
Apparently, like 3 groups of people probably had a chance to see the actual Federation Force game itself, other than Blast Ball, like behind closed doors, and that's it. So,
yeah,
very few people have seen them.
Did they say anything positive about it? Or, like, was their impression positive about the main game, or?
That I don't even remember what the impressions were.
I did watch the stuff on the Treehouse Live, and it seemed like it was almost a similar experience to like a first-person shooter version of like Monster Hunter 4. If you've done like an online play, session of Monster Hunter 4, it seemed like a similar kind of experience, but in a first-person shooter. Like they had different abilities, different items that could be used for different things. So like in Monster Hunter 4, if you're really trying to take down one of the big monsters, then one person's got to have the sleep bomb or the traps or those sorts of things, and everybody's kind of got their role to play. And so there's communication was a big part of that as well. So yeah, I don't know. I don't necessarily think that voice chat is always something that is difficult to have in general. I don't think you want to have it on the 3DS because of the sound quality too, but something that communication will be important.
Well,
I don't know. It may be intended like Triforce Heroes to be something that is intended to be played locally.
Didn't Pokemon Diamond and Pearl have voice chat?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
At least
You want it, but you
they
don't.
can do it. It's just they don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Metroid Prime Hunters, that had voice chat as well, and that's a DS game.
Right, yeah, like it almost seems like they tried it initially when they said they could do it, and then as soon as they realized how crappy it was, they were like, maybe we won't do it. It's better to just not do it at all than to do it and have it suck.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's got a smartphone these days, pretty much. So just get Skype on that and talk to your friends on that.
Exactly. And when
Well,
we did
the average internet connection during the what was the game you said?
Metroid Prime.
During
Hunters?
the average internet connection back then was like 2 to 5 megabits a second, and now
That's true.
Now it's a little bit better. Of course, I say this with Google Fiber, but okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So next up, we have Mini Mario and Friends Amiibo Challenge. This was announced just today, wasn't it?
Yeah, I woke up with this, and this was in my news feed.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking. So I watched it, and I was like, "Oh, that's awesome!" And then I kind of saw it, and I was like, "Oh, wait." Like watching the trailer. What is the Amiibo functionality? Does any just?
I do. I did some research, guys.
Oh, good.
Did some research. I'm excited to tell you. We have been asking for it, guys. We have been asking for an Amiibo-centric game that uses all of those things that we've collected. Ladies and gentlemen, I am excited and I am pumped to tell you this is what we got.
I know.
So in other words, this
may
isn't.
not be the game that you deserve. This is the game that you got.
There's been a lot of that going around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got Zelda, we got a Metroid, and now we got this.
So I need to give credit where credit is due. I watched Game Explain's video. Andre did it. Obviously, Andre, who came on our show back a couple months ago. Good kind of friend of the show.
You've had hold on, I don't want to interrupt you here, but you've had Andre on before me as well. All right, this is getting ridiculous.
Should I not mention Pierce Snyder?
I don't want to mention that we had Pear on before you as well.
Well,
here's the thing, though, is that to be fair, it was intimidating to think we didn't think you'd be interested. We thought that you would just, we were two small potatoes, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right. Well, anyways, Mini Mario.
We're trying to work on Bill Trinan, but that one's we don't.
Now that we've got you on, we feel we can tackle Bill.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
So again, here's my understanding and in all fairness, Andre mentioned that he basically got the information from Nintendo, so there's like 3 levels of communication here. But it is a game where it's going to be free, but one of the ways it becomes free or that you get it is when you purchase an Amiibo, you will get a code for it, and that you can either put on your 3DS or your Wii U. You then use an Amiibo to scan it, and there are 10 compatible Amiibo. So these are like your primaries. So let's see, it's Mario, Luigi, Bowser.
So none of these will work, or
Yoshi. No, those ones will work. So they have like every Mario that they've ever published, including Dr. Mario, all the way to the 8-bit ones, those will work. But you scan your Amiibo onto the platform, and what happens is that each Amiibo opens up a little world, a sub-world of 5 levels that you then play. And the levels are themed to the character. So, for example, Luigi has very much like a Luigi's Mansion theme. It's kind of ghouls and ghosts and stuff like that. Yoshi has actually very much of a Yarn Yoshi theme associated with it as well.
Cool.
So there are 10 compatible Amiibo characters, I guess is more the way I would put it, because again, any Mario can unlock the Mario sequence or the world, right?
I'm actually looking at their website. So it's Yoshi, Toad, Mario, Luigi, Peach, Diddy Kong, Donkey Kong, Bowser Jr., and Rosalina.
Correct. Yeah.
I have one of them.
Well, there you go.
I have most of them, actually.
Yeah, I was doing the exact same thing.
I have 3 Marios, but that's my one.
Apparently there are 60 levels in total, so there are about 10 other levels that are either we're assuming either come stock. Now, let's say you grab an Amiibo that is not compatible. Let's say the Shovel Knight Amiibo, or maybe even Little Mac. Those that don't come into the game, actually, I guess from the understanding that it looked like on the video, you get like a little sub kind of additional figure, but it's not like an Amiibo. It's kind of like a generic figure that you can use throughout the game as well. So again, the game is free. It's being released at the end of Japan. I think it's January 28th in Japan for free. So when either you buy an Amiibo, in the future you're gonna get a code for it, or you can go down to the eShop, download it for free, and then use your Amiibo. So
Okay.
Wait, say that again.
I
Say that-
lied. I have two. I have Bowser Jr., so I have two.
Okay. So what I'm saying here, Zach, is currently, from the information it sounds like, in the next little bit, if you purchase an Amiibo when this game is released, there will be a code in that package that allows you to go either to your Wii U or your 3DS and put the code in and download the game for free.
What if you already own all the Amiibo?
Then so there's one of two options. You can either get it with the Amiibo and the code together, or you can just go to said the eShop and get it down for free as well.
Well, what's the whole point with the code then? When I can't just everyone just download it for free?
Well, because what if you're maybe just starting, you don't have any of those Amiibo?
Right.
Right. So if you're like, no, I don't want to collect Amiibo, but this has pushed me over to collect Amiibo, then this could be the
still
thing.
Doesn't make any sense. Maybe it's got to do
Make
something.
The rules. I report the rules third hand from somebody else's YouTube channel, so you just back off.
Fourth hand.
Looking on here as well, Nintendo on Twitter says the software will be published on the Nintendo eShop standalone at a later date.
Yeah, there you
So
go.
it's definitely a limited time offer for now. So, in other words, does that mean, again, there's so many weird things. I wish that Nintendo would stop announcing things in Japan and not telling us at least something, because it's just weirdness.
Yeah.
But
I love that there's this feeling sometimes from Nintendo Japan that like, no, whatever we say here will just stay here, and then we'll release it in like a couple months from now, and it'll be like a surprise and secret. When it's like, no, like this is not how the internet works or the rest of the world works.
yeah.
Right. So, Josh, have you looked at this at all, or what are your thoughts on this game?
I've checked out of the Mario versus Donkey Kong series about 5 installments ago.
That's fair.
I loved the original one that was on the Game Boy. I loved the Game Boy Advance one even more, and I was okay with the first time they did the little touchscreen type stuff on the DS. I was like, all right, it's something different. I don't like it as much as the other version, and then they just did 5 versions of that same thing, and I don't know how you can get motivated to keep making the same game over and over again.
That's the thing with this trailer, right? Is it seems like with a lot of similar. Anytime that there's this Amiibo version of a game, it's like we took features from the old game and we locked them behind the Amiibo paywall. Yay! You know what I mean? It's, I don't know.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look like it's that different other than that.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, I watched it and I didn't notice any really drastic new ideas. It just seems like, oh, scan your Amiibo to get the levels this time, and it's
between this and Tipping Stars.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing, right? Tipping Stars just came out in March, right, of 2015.
Yeah.
So are we now annualizing Box Boy, and I'm not saying they're the same thing, but Box Boy and Mario versus Donkey. Now this isn't Mario versus Donkey Kong. This is Mario and Friends.
Oh, well, there you go. Now I want
series. It's completely different.
Yeah, you got.
This isn't the 5th version.
In this one. Rosalina's in this one.
Yeah, come
Listen,
on.
Bowser Jr. is in this one, and he looks awesome. He's my favorite Mario character, so that might make me want to just download this and scan his levels just for the heck of it.
Nice. This? I thought this was interesting with this whole purchase the Amiibo, get the code. We've heard the new president Kimishima talk about that they haven't used Amiibo the proper way. Right? Do you guys think this is starting to shift that structure he's standing on a little bit?
We're doing it wrong.
Do you think this is a sign of things to come, or is this just an experiment? Josh?
I mean, of all the games to try this out on, really, an eShop game like Mario versus Donkey Kong? I don't know. I'm almost okay with hiding content behind the Amiibo, kind of like what Disney Infinity or Skylanders do, to where you need that figure to play as them in the game or something like that. But it's just got to be something that I want to play to begin with. And like I said, the 5th version of a game I didn't like to begin with is probably not going to do it for me.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's like, hey, here's Nintendo Land 2, and when you scan your Amiibo, you unlock new attractions, I would be on board with that completely.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's kind of going in the right direction in a way, but it's also not going in the right direction because they're using it on such a series.
Right.
Yeah,
and that's the thing about Nintendo, right? When they try and make those turns, it's not like a sharp left turn and they fully commit. It's kind of like, let's just slowly turn the dial just a little bit and see what the reaction is before we fully commit, right? And I kind of actually that Nintendo Land idea sounds much better.
So, I just want to remind you guys of my prediction of them using a free Amiibo game, which this isn't really what I was thinking. It never is when we do this, but the idea that it's like an eShop including a lot of characters, I would even be more interested if instead of Mario and all the Mario characters, it was like literally do the same thing. I don't know what it is for me, but like if instead we had wind up versions of Samus and Link, and you know what I mean? Like if you're gonna do this, you have all these Amiibo. Why don't they do that instead? Like why do you have to limit it to the Mario series if you have this huge wide range of Amiibo? Why don't they have like a wind up, I don't know, like
Shovel Knight?
Wind up Shovel Knight, or like a wind up Ness, wind up Tom Nook. You know what I mean? Like what's holding them back from that? Why are they limiting themselves in this way? I don't get it.
Right.
Yeah, it's kind of like if Super Mario Maker only limited itself to the Mario characters for those costumes. How much lamer would that have been?
Now,
yeah, so
and actually that's a really good point. I mean, and there's no reason why you couldn't potentially see, let's say it's published out in April, North America, and all of a sudden you're playing it, and they put in a patch and say like, oh, by the way, now you can get the Zelda, you can get the Metroid level, right? You can get the Tom Nook level. Mm-hmm. But there's no reason that says they couldn't do that. And actually, the way that Nintendo's been operating the last year, I'd say they're more likely to do that now than they have ever before.
I wonder if Shovel Knight will be patched into Mario Maker.
Yeah, no.
See, that would be interesting. I think that they're getting close to where Mario Maker, I don't know, probably in the next couple of months they'll have another Mario Maker patch. But I don't know. It's interesting though. I'm interested to do. I'll download it, I guess is what I'm saying. Is that I would definitely try it. It's going to be free, right?
Yeah. Well, and
free game.
Here's the odd thing it sort of made me do. So I'm going through this list, and I have almost all of the Amiibo. There are two I don't have, and it's Luigi, and shamefully, Josh, it's Bowser Jr.
Oh, what do you do? Why?
Was
it out of stock?
Was that an exclusive for you as well, or because
it wasn't? I was kind enough to give my copy to a friend.
Yeah, because that was a Toys R Us exclusive
the
here.
Needs of the many Amiibo outweigh the needs of the fewer the one. But it actually kind of drew me the fact that like I like Luigi and I like the mansion levels. It drew me the fact that I'm like, maybe I want to buy a Luigi Amiibo just for these levels. And then I thought, what the hell is wrong with me? Right? Like
exactly.
Like this is exactly what they want me to do, and I'm like, I can't. And there's a completionist part of it too. I'm like, well, I only need 2 more, and I can get the entire level for free. Well,
again, this is why I didn't I didn't open the badge game. It's still sitting on my 3DS as a wrapped box.
Yeah.
Josh,
Oh boy.
Just because it was force fed down my throat.
Well, listen, you can reject that. You can say no, you don't want that on your menu.
But
you accepted.
I'm still some of them I am interested in. There's that one I'm not. So,
Josh, you like to make believe, so to speak.
Okay.
If Nintendo were to do
I see what you did there.
Yeah, I see what I did there. If Nintendo were to do like your dream Amiibo game, what do you think they should do? Like what would they do if that was, something?
Like I said earlier, I want a sequel to Nintendo Land that is much more fleshed out, and I want like an actual little theme park we can walk around in as our Miis, and it starts out kind of hollow and empty. Maybe it comes packed in with like a Mario and a Link Amiibo, and when you scan those in, you get these new attractions that use the controller, and they're like multiplayer, just like kind of like Nintendo Land was. But then taking the Amiibo and scanning different Amiibo from different franchises would unlock more sections of the park. So maybe I got a King DDD Amiibo or a Kirby Amiibo. I can scan those, and then like magically you'd see that section of the park start appearing, and maybe you can get special costumes and little meet and greet with the characters that give you tips or items of some sort, and just seeing your Amiibo collection grow, and then also seeing the theme park grow as your Amiibo grew. I think that would be really cool. And yeah, it's like, do they have to do that? No, but the fact that we're buying figures anyways is already pointless. So it's like, I don't think there's any real way to justify having to use a figure to play a video game to begin with. So you might as well make it feel like it has a point.
And there's your next launch title.
And I think what you could do as well, I mean, because the immediate criticism is, well, why would you lock that much of the game behind an Amiibo paywall or whatever? But I think if they were to come out with like another line of cards similar to Animal Crossing and have a full range of Nintendo characters, or not necessarily a Smash Brothers line of Amiibo cards, but like a similar sort of range of characters, I think that could, like a Nintendo Land line of Amiibo cards would be, would fix that problem too.
Maybe in the free to start format, where you can choose to buy the Amiibo, you give them the money that way, or just say, give me, here's $10, you unlock this section. Mm-hmm. Either way, you're throwing money at it.
I like that idea though. That'd be really cool.
So I think. Go ahead, Josh.
No, I was just gonna say that was my biggest disappointment with the original Nintendo Land was there was like no little virtual theme park to walk around in. It was just this weird floating disc. So if there was like a real little virtual Nintendo Land and had the Amiibo stuff connected to it, I'd be totally down for that.
And have have it be the celebration of Nintendo that the first one really should have been.
Right, exactly. And no sign of Monita. Get rid of Monita. I hated Monita.
No, we need a Monita Amiibo.
Yeah. At what point was a monotone robot voice like the idea that that's a great idea for the centerpiece of this game?
Rob had more personality.
Yeah, he would have been that would have been a cool host. But yeah, like what an opposite character to everything else Nintendo ever does.
Totally. Right on. So moving on, we just have a couple more pieces here, a couple more stories. This Amazon Prime members get 20% off all video game pre-orders. Justin, is this a Canada thing too?
No, this. Are you kidding me?
So I did a pre-order for Zelda HD at GameStop, and I fully paid it. I'm like, crap. And I had this. If I'd known this about a month ago, I would have done it from Amazon.
This is sweet.
Yep.
I think this is great for America.
Yes, I can still say cancel my pre-order and get my money back, but really now it's do I get it at 10 a.m. or do I get it at 6 p.m. when UPS shows up? Might as well just still keep it at GameStop.
So here's a couple things, Zach. I don't know for sure if it's not Canadian. I everything I read is that it's American, but I'm not 100% sure. The other thing is I believe I read that it actually doesn't apply to Nintendo first title games.
To first party games?
To first party games. I believe I read that somewhere. Jesse, you able to give me
I haven't tested it, but I've seen a lot of tweets saying that this applies for the Zelda HD.
Wow, then that's fantastic.
That's really awesome.
So it doesn't.
If it didn't apply to first-party Nintendo games, that would mean that it applies to no Wii U games.
Yeah, exactly.
Just Dance 2016.
Yeah.
And Skylanders. That's it. Thank you, Activision.
Yeah, so I mean that's something interesting for you American folk. For us Canadians, man. Yeah. Don't worry, because just by living in Canada, you get a 20% increase in price. So that's okay.
Woohoo!
So we're good. Right on. As well, Iwata honored with a Lifetime Achievement Award at the DICE Awards.
He will be. Yeah, the DICE Awards are coming up.
Yeah,
I believe,
so
in February.
Is that the Canadian spelling of honored?
Yeah.
And actually, yeah, it is.
Because that's not how we spell it. Okay, next.
No, spell it wrong.
And finally, Metroid Zero Mission is going to be on Virtual Console tomorrow, which I'm really excited about.
Do you guys think this is a kickoff to sort of like in collaboration, but like the year of Metroid? Like, I mean, we joked about it before. I know, Josh, you said like they don't remember Metroid, but do you think like Nintendo's going to do anything for Metroid for 30 years other than Reggie wearing a pin? Maybe. What do you guys think?
Metroid is the less loved child of Nintendo versus Zelda.
Yeah,
it's like twins. They were born at the same time, roughly same year, and then like the birthday comes around, and it's like, oh, happy birthday, Zelda! It is this huge deal, and then by the way, Metroid.
And it's like the niche of the niche, and it's more popular in North America than it is in Japan, and that's really since they look at their Japan audience first for their big decisions, because that's where their investors are. That's why half the reason why Metroid is what Metroid is, or isn't.
Josh, what are your thoughts?
I would think that probably the big celebration is going to be some virtual console stuff, like we're going to see tomorrow, and maybe a couple more, and then probably, Metroid Prime Federation Force on the 3DS. That'll come out, and they'll use that as like a celebration of it, and then I would assume and hope that at E3 this year we will see a brand new Metroid game being developed by Retro Studios coming to the next system, but probably won't make it out this year.
Did Other M get released like in Europe or Japan for the Wii U as a Wii, not a virtual console game?
a non-virtual console game?
That
is a good question.
I'm going to keep using that term because I like it.
Did we get it here? Did North America get that on the
I
video?
don't think we did, because I probably would have bought it if we did.
No, we haven't. We got the Prime trilogy
Because I liked Other M.
Better.
Oh, that's way better. Yeah, I don't even necessarily think we need to worry too much about that. I don't know. I'm not super excited about Other M coming to Wii U, but yeah, I kind of think again.
I'll buy that again for $20.
Yeah, I think for the most part though, Justin, I wouldn't expect too much of of Metroid. They might mention it, but it's not going to have the huge celebration that Mario and Zelda get. You know what I mean? It's I just don't.
They need to
divide the attention of.
They're going to want to focus on Zelda too much.
Yeah. Especially with the new Zelda coming.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think they're probably going to, even more than Zelda and Metroid, they're going to celebrate the 30th anniversary of Clu Clu Land. It's going to be a huge, huge deal for Clu Clu Land turning 30 years old this year.
Nice.
I'm very excited about that.
Wrecking Crew?
Is Wrecking Crew 30?
Weren't they all about the same? I don't know.
That's the problem with Nintendo. They kind of birthed all these franchises at the same time, so it's hard to love them all equally.
It's the Octomom of video games.
That's awesome.
Nice. Cool. Right on. Well, let's head into what we've been playing, shall we?
Do it.
All right. So, Josh, as is usually the case, we have our guests go first on what they've been playing. So, what have you been playing, good sir?
Okay. I've played a little bit of Box Boy 2. I don't know if that's the official title, but that's what I'm calling it.
I think it's Box Boy, Another Box.
Okay, hopefully that gets translated into something a little bit more appealing.
I think that's what Sarin said on Twitter.
Okay. Is that the direct translation?
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hang on. Let's see what it is. I'm pulling it, because that's one more box is potentially another translation of it.
One more box.
It's just as descriptive titles go,
But it's a fun game. I've been playing that and I've been enjoying it.
Not a fan of the title.
Not a fan of that title. Hopefully it's something a little bit cooler than Another Box, because that's probably the least appealing subtitle to a video game ever. And then oddly enough, I have been playing my favorite game of all time, and I didn't even intend to play it a lot, but it's Super Mario Sunshine. I've been playing that, and I've collected probably like another 40 Shine Sprites, and I literally just planned on jumping in and getting some resource material and not even playing it, but I'm totally hooked on that game again.
Nice.
It is so amazing. I miss when 3D Mario games had these big open worlds. So hopefully we get back to that someday. But yeah, pretty much Box Boy 2 and Super Mario Sunshine, and then a whole lot of work. So I haven't been playing a ton, but playing those two games.
Is Sunshine one of your, is it your favorite 3D Mario?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I love it.
What makes it the favorite for you? And I ask this question actually because I've never played it.
I'm done here.
Yeah,
I'm really gets invited before me.
This is actually
Roger gets invited before me. No Bowser Jr. amiibos amongst any of you.
I have one.
Whoa, Zach's got one.
I've got one.
Okay.
I got one.
The reason was I actually missed the entire GameCube generation. I have not played a single GameCube game. I went Nintendo, Super Nintendo, 64, PlayStation, and then I came back to the Wii and the Wii U.
That's what we call the Dark Ages.
Yeah, it's called Justin's, emo age, or emo years. So yeah, I'm just curious about what draws you to that, because
he didn't own a 3DS until the new 3DS happened either.
Oh, wow. What draws me to Sunshine the most?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm a little bit biased because I'm obsessed with tropical weather, and the beaches and the ocean is one of my favorite things ever. So I'm a little biased. But I love the fact that they took this single concept of let's make a game based on a summer world. And they took that idea and they didn't just give us boring, here's a typical beach, and all that stuff like you would see in New Super Mario Brothers or something. All the beaches kind of look the same. With this one, they expand it so much. We've got this amazing seashell fortress and this a hotel with this gorgeous sunset, and you get to go in the hotel and it's haunted and stuff. And there's just and a southern town up in the hills, and it's just they do so much with that one concept. And playing around with Flood, like the water pump, is so fun. Like there's so much stuff you can do with it. It's like if they took a Mario power up and they made it so good that it would be interesting for an entire game. Usually a power up is like you get it in a few levels just because it's really not that broad. There's not as much you can do with it. But Flood has all these little extra nozzles, and it's still a fun game to look at. Even I think visually the art style is still very bright and vibrant, and I'd say it's probably the most fun to control Mario in this game as well. I think control is important with a Mario game, and I think he controls the best in this. It's just fun to hop around and stuff, so it's a magical game. I'm in love with it.
That was a really fun game. I haven't played all of it. I played some of it. Like I haven't finished it, but I have played some of it, and it's interesting too because that was GameCube the only generation that we had the analog shoulder buttons?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, and that was an interesting, like just the interesting way that they used that in that game was pretty cool.
I liked the analog shoulder buttons with the click, which in some games, especially Sunshine, we did a different function.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was. Man, I love the aesthetic of that game too. That was great.
And which, because no other controller does that, we're unlikely going to see this in a non-virtual console-ish type of. See, I used the term again. In a type of scenario.
Right, but it's. I mean, they definitely. I think they could play around with that, and
unless NX does it,
yeah.
Which
maybe, for sure. By the way, just for listeners, Justin has stepped out to deal with children's, and we'll be back in a little while. Right on. So Super Mario Sunshine and Box Boy 2, man, right on. That's awesome.
Sunshine's actually the Mario game I played the least, and I think and I tried replaying it probably like 5 or 6 years ago, and the biggest issue I had was when it went to those 2D type of levels, but it went deep instead of left right. I could never get those jumps right.
What, like Temple Run style or what?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Think like Mario 3D World levels, but it's just one plane. It's still in 3D running, but there's no left or right. If you do that for 3 inches, you'll fall off. Okay. But you're running into the screen.
See, this is one of those games that I definitely need to give more time to, for sure. So that is my commitment. Josh, is I will do that.
But that is one of those games, if it ever got re-released, I will buy it and try to play it again.
Yeah.
Maybe they fixed the issues that I had with the game. I don't know.
Sweet.
You're talking about the levels where they take Flood away from you, or?
Yes.
Okay. Those have really good music behind them, though.
I do enjoy the music, but the platforming is awful.
Right on.
So what have you guys been playing? That's what I've been playing. I haven't been playing too many interesting things. I've been doing so much work, but I imagine you guys have been playing more interesting stuff.
Yeah, so I, over the past week, I haven't played a whole lot. I've been playing Back to School, which sucks. But before that, my son got, for Christmas, got Lego Dimensions, which is, I think I've talked about it a little bit on the show. Have you played any of that, Justin, or Josh? Have you played Lego Dimensions at all? Have you seen it? Have you been tempted?
I have not played it. I've been a little bit tempted, but it seems like it's incredibly expensive to get everything that I would want to play. I did watch a Giant Bomb quick look of it, and so I'm kind of familiar with the way that it works.
Well, I think the thing that's interesting that I'm really impressed by is how huge this game is, and I think most Lego games are huge. But one thing I didn't realize is that, so you've got your basic story missions, the sort of storyline of the game, and then depending on, and then kind of you can take this elevator in the main hub world. The only other Lego game that I've really played was the Marvel Superheroes edition, and basically the main hub world in that game was the helicarrier, and you could go and that was kind of where you started everything, and that was where you selected your missions and all that kind of stuff. In this one, it's just sort of this weird asteroid place in space that you can go to the different missions or whatever as you go through the portal. But if you take this elevator down, then as long as you have a character from each of the worlds, they kind of have this open world mission area for each of the worlds that I had no idea even existed until like maybe playing it for a good 5 or 6 hours, and then all of a sudden I found this elevator and went down there, and oh hey look, here's a Wizard of Oz world, and here's Legends of Chima world, which is one of the like Lego TV show sort of things, right, where it's like the animals and stuff. My son's 5 and he loves watching like that kind of thing on Netflix. So we got those figures for him. He bought them with some like Christmas money that he had or whatever. But I actually went out and bought the Portal set, which was really awesome, and played through that. It was surprisingly short, but there's also still like an open world with a bunch of missions and things to basically collect more studs and gold bricks to then upgrade your vehicles.
So would you say it was a triumph?
Yeah, I would say. You know what though? Kind of. My biggest criticism with
a note here, huge success.
Yeah. My biggest criticism of those expansion packs, the level packs, is like it was like $30 for one minifigure and 2 little builds. It was like the turret and the companion cube. And that was $30, and it was $30 because it was a level pack. But the level was like it was maybe like a 3 hours, maybe, not very long at all. And
do they design them to where, I'm sorry to interrupt, but do they design those to where they're like open-ended, to where you don't really beat it? Because like Disney Infinity, for example, the playsets for those, there's really no way to kind of like technically beat it. It just kind of keeps looping around with what you can do. Are they like that, or are they like you beat them?
Well, there's two separate. There's the adventure story, and those are specific to a level pack. Only like if there's a level pack. So there's like the Portal 2 one. There's the like Doctor Who one, things like that. There's the adventure levels, which is a story, a short contained story, and at the end of that, it will port you to this small open world area that just has a bunch of missions, and they're totally detached from each other, but they kind of have the same look and feel and that sort of thing. And so you can then go and do all of the missions, but they end up being, oh man, I really wish that somebody would go and find this thing, and then you go and do it and beat them up and then collect more studs, and then it's kind of that same sort of Lego game cycle, but they've perfected that so much over the course of all their games. You know what you're getting into if you're getting a Lego game, right? Again, and it's been said before, the biggest bummer to this game is all of the great thing. One of the biggest things about Lego games is, look at this huge cast of characters that we have. Like on the first Lego Marvel game, here's like 100 different characters that you can play as. In this one, here's 30 different characters, and you can't play as them unless you own them. And so it's a huge bummer. One of the things that's interesting though is that unlike Disney Infinity or Skylanders, I'm not sure about Skylanders. I think Skylanders might be a little bit more like this, but you can hold up to 7 different characters on the portal at once. And so you can have like a vehicle on there and a few of your different characters that then you can just kind of hit a button and switch between. And some of the puzzles will even require you, like for example, one of the puzzles was like a painting puzzle. So you'll in the game, you will walk up to a specific item and it will paint the character that you're controlling as red. And then there will be something on the screen that kind of shows the 3 different segments on the portal. And it will show you, okay, you need to paint it this color. So you'll then take the character. Let's say I was being Gandalf and I'd become red, and I need to paint the entire portal red. So I would physically pick up the Gandalf figure off of the portal and place it on each of the 3 areas on the portal, and then it would unlock the puzzle. So it knows where you've placed it on the portal of those 3 areas. If you've got all of the characters, if you've got it like totally full, it's kind of a hassle because you got to take one off and put the other one on and kind of start shuffling things around. And if your portal, if your couch is sitting far back from the TV or something like that, then you've got to get up and walk over to the TV and move them around and stuff. But I think for the audience that this is catering to, which is kids tend to be I don't know, at least in our living room, we kind of have just like this big beanbag in front of the TV that is connected to the Wii U. And so it's just like, get up and do it, and it's not that big of a deal. But if you had a big living room, that would be more of a hassle, I think. So overall, I think the game is really fun, though. I enjoy it. I like this sort of upgrade path in this game where you collect your studs and you collect the gold bricks as you're kind of doing specific missions and you're progressing through the story. And let's say, for example, I had what me and my son were focusing on, because we needed the abilities for the upgrade, is we had Benny from the Lego movie, and we focused on upgrading his spaceship. So as we kind of upgraded further and further, then suddenly it will unlock a new build, and it will unlock new instructions that you disassemble, right in front of the TV there, disassemble your little spaceship and rebuild it into a different looking spaceship. That this one has a huge laser on the front, or this one's got missile launchers and things like that. That's a really fun carrot to have be chasing in the game, is that you actually get to build something cool and new as you upgrade your vehicles or whatever in the game. So it's fun. I like it. In the end, I definitely, one of the other things that I had thought of too is and I was concerned about this going in, but it has proved to be true, is that the size of an Amiibo makes it so, or like Disney Infinity, Skylanders, makes it a little bit more difficult for them to get lost. But a Lego minifigure is much easier to lose. And especially since really what is important for playing in the game is just the disc that the minifigure stands on, right? You can take the minifigure off and it's just regular old Lego, but that little disc, which is even smaller than an Amiibo base, right? It's maybe like 2/3 the size. If you lose that, then you can't play as that character anymore, right? And so like that is exactly what happened with my Portal character. And I'm like, well, I'm pretty sure my 3-year-old daughter probably took off with it somewhere. So I don't know where it is. It'll show up eventually, but it is harder to lose. It is easier to lose the Lego Dimensions figures than it is to lose an Amiibo or something like that. So anyway, that was a little bit more of a bummer, but for the most part, Lego Dimensions is fun. But if you really like that game, maybe there's a different game that you can get most of that experience elsewhere. So anyway, Jesse, what have you been playing?
Yeah, I've got 2 games I want to talk about. First one is a game I actually bought almost a year ago, and I just never got around to playing it until this weekend. It's It'll Do.
It'll Do. Okay.
It was an indie game. It was out on Steam. I think it might be out on maybe the PSN and Xbox Live. I'm not sure, but I know it's definitely on Steam. It's kind of an homage to Zelda. It's hand drawn animation, and even the idle of animations of everything. It kind of looks, while it's not actually doing a lot of animation going on, but you can tell like the lines are kind of going back and forth, like a two frame animation, but enough that you can tell it's not just sitting there by itself. Anyway, so it's a top down like original like Zelda 2D games. And the premise is kind of similar to Link's Awakening that we talked about last week. You crash onto an island, and your only way off is to get a raft by the seemingly one only normal and inhabitant of this island, who says, get the artifact from this castle, and I'll make a raft for you. So she's like, sure. What else do I have to do? And so it's about a 3-ish hour game. I needed to hit a fact to figure out how to get to the end boss after I got all my weapons. Mm-hmm. But other than that, it was kind of fun. The ending, just really obscure. I won't get into the details, but it almost pissed me off. and your character gets visually upset as well over what's going on in the game, so it's pretty aware of itself. Mm-hmm. So if you're got the Zelda itch, give it a try. Apparently, it does have a sequel coming out. It isn't out yet, but little likely come out in Steam first. I'm not sure if we'll see that on Wii U at all. But
Is the sequel called It'll Do Too?
yes, but not TEW. It's just the number 2. And I saw that someone already made that joke in the comment of an article. They're like, they completely missed the chance to do It'll Do Too. But anyway, so the other game I played, this is I talked a little bit about it again last week, or that I bought this on the cheap, is Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival.
Ah.
Oh boy.
I wasn't going to pay full price for this but I found it on Amazon for about $30. So
you were looking forward to this game. You were excited about this game, Josh. This was like
Are you being sarcastic? I'm hoping this is more sarcasm coming from you guys.
Actually, I was just as a side note, I discovered you and when you were doing all of your Animal Crossing New Leaf stuff before it came out in the U.S. or like North America. So, yeah, no, I've watched many of your, like, as that game approached, I was hyping myself up watching your videos. So yeah, no, I understand. Yeah, the rage of the Animal Crossing game on Wii U is real for sure.
Anyway, so
this game exists is heresy, but continue.
So my logic as to what allowed me to make the purchase is it was half off on Amazon, so $30. So if we figure each amiibo is $13, that makes the game $4. I'm like, yeah, I can make this game worth $4.
I think you overpaid, but
and I even asked. So I played 2 games with it. One with my son, and then I played it earlier today with my daughter, who 15, 16 years old. And I think my daughter was into it a little bit more than my son, because she has played a little bit of New Leaf, and he's never played any Animal Crossing game before. But she also got sick of I have to tap the amiibo every turn.
Yeah.
Mario Party
really quick
too, wasn't it? Justin's back, by the way. Justin, hello. Oh, did he leave?
I saw him move around, so I'm not sure if he's actually at his desk right now.
You unmute? Are you standing your standing desk? No, you're not. He's
okay. Thumbing down.
Okay.
I can confirm though that Mario Party 10 did that as well.
That is so annoying. Why did they do? Why is that? Why do they think that's fun?
So
I don't know. I think they don't think it's fun, but they are told by higher ups at Nintendo that they have to include Amiibo, so they have no choice but to stick them in there somewhere.
Though it is cute when you try to push the A button, and they just kind of go,
Yeah, like no, it's like the character's looking at you like, yep, that's what you should be able to do, but no, just tap the amiibo.
Yeah, so you have to tap the amiibo. And my daughter got confused because she wanted to. You're able to accumulate these cards, which can manipulate the game a little bit. Like you can throw 2 dice instead of 1, or you can't. You have to move 5. Depending on what the card is. She wanted to move a card, so she moved the cursor over to use the card instead of rolling, but then she still tapped the amiibo, thinking that would enable it, but no, that still rolls. Yeah, that's when you actually have to push the A to activate the card.
How ambiguous.
It is.
So Josh, as a well-known Animal Crossing fan, how much does this game make your blood boil?
So I've been working on a review for this game since it came out, and I keep holding it off because I'm too enraged in the review. I'm like, no, I can't put this up. This would be way too shocking to people. So I keep trying to redo it again and again and not be so hard on the game, and it's impossible. So yeah, this game is just.
It feels like you need to process your emotions about this before.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to tell you that you may or may not know that Zach is studying for therapy. Correct, Zach? Family therapy.
I'm studying counseling psychology. I am practicing. I do actually under supervision. I am a therapist. So
if you want to talk to Zach after this call, Josh, about your Animal Crossing, upsettedness, he'll be happy to have a sponsored session with you.
I think you're going to get a lot of patients that are going to start with, it all started with the Amiibo Festival, man.
The level of disappointment was just too hard to get over.
So my daughter is trying to mentally comparing this game to Mario Party, of which she's played the older ones. I don't think she's played the newer ones much, but she remembers every round there was a mini game, but there's no mini games here. So she was a little bit off put about that. But then I reminded her, even though Matthew, my son, and I always beat you, is because of what, we've been playing games for all of our lives and she hasn't. And she said, well, yeah, that does kind of tick me off, but I still would rather do something than just watch the board game. So she's kind of torn between the two aspects. And I'm not sure even why it's a thing, but at the end of the game, what they call happy points gets turned into similar to experience points, and you can save that status on the amiibo themselves and to level them up. What they do, I don't know yet.
You unlock costumes from doing that.
Okay, because the first game I was Isabelle and Matthew chose what's the other dog? Digby. Okay, so he was the other dog. And so I won. So I got Isabelle to level 2 and Digby is almost level 2. My game today, I was KK and Madeline was Isabelle. She won. So while she didn't quite get to level 3, she's almost level 3 now, and then now KK is almost level 2. So they are leveling up. And then I don't remember seeing it after playing the first game, but after the second game it then showed me now you can do all these other things, all the other where the mini games really are. Only one of them is unlocked, and all the experience points that we've been gathering with playing the main board game gives us happy tickets. And for each there's one mini game unlocked initially, and then to unlock the other mini games requires happy tickets to do so. So we have enough to do one or two depending on how we want to play it. But we haven't unlocked anything else yet. We've started out playing this balloon game, which now, weirdly enough, you have to use Amiibo cards. The Amiibo figures won't work.
Remember the good old days of Pokemon Stadium mini games? Anybody else play that?
Yeah.
That was the best.
You didn't.
It was just here's a bunch of great mini games, and just go at it. And this, why is it so complicated?
The game comes with 3 cards, so at least you have cards to play with, but I have not bought any other cards, and I don't plan on buying other cards.
So this is what's funny, though. This is where Nintendo's kind of got you, because some of those modes that you will eventually unlock require 5 cards to play.
5 or 6 cards. I saw that.
Yeah. I think it might be 6, yeah. I'm not sure, but it's 5 or 6. So it's like they're almost telling you, listen, you also have to go buy cards to play this game as well.
That was my huge problem I had with this game, right? So I've got 2 daughters who, we played Happy Home Design, and they really liked it, and so they're like, oh, well, let's pick up Amiibo Festival, and I looked at it and I was like, this is a trap, right? I'm not.
It's a trap.
I'm not leaving EB Games without buying 4 at least Amiibos to for the entire family to play. And then to realize that it's probably just a repeat of Mario Party 10, but even worse. I'm not dropping $120 in Canada for this. So sorry, kids. We'll just go back to, you can go buy your blind bag Amiibo pack and you can play that for home design.
So one thing I do like about the game is as you're going through the board, the things that you land on something that'll increase your happy points, decrease your happy points, increase your bells, or decrease your bells. And you normally get some situation that happens and then a reason why you would be increasing or decreasing. Like a reason you land on a lose bells space, but they put a happy spin on it. Oh, I bought up some furniture today. Okay, I lose 400 bells. But the situations that these characters get put in, it isn't like Monopoly where you just draw a card and anyone can grab it. The same person, 2 different people can get the same situation. It seems like all these situations are unique to the character.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of, the Isabel situations are a lot of, I'm at work and this happened today. And the KK ones are, I was practicing with the band and this happened today, and things like that. And on the board, the southern part of the board is up against the beach, against the ocean. So all of those involves fishing, and you gain money from fishing.
Right.
So they kind of, a little bit of thought was put into it, more than just like just drawing a chance card, and this happens.
And I think that is the one thing. If there is one thing that I have seen that is at least redeeming in this game, is that it appears to channel the charming aspect of Animal Crossing. I don't know how well they succeed, but it seems like at least those little quips could be charming.
Well, here's something that's kind of funny about those little pop-ups that tell a little story. Sometimes if you were playing, let's say you're playing with Isabel, you can actually trigger a little pop-up that will have Isabel at the town hall talking to Isabel at the town hall.
I haven't seen that yet.
Or like Mabel, one of the Able sisters. There's a little cutscene where she'll go to the Able sister shop and she'll be talking to herself about whatever she's doing.
Oh, that's terrible.
That's awesome.
They forgot to make sure that could not happen.
Yeah, like how hard would it have been to, instead of Isabel meeting herself, she just like, I went to the town hall to make sure everything was okay, or you know what I mean, like.
Or at least put Digby in there and place palette swap it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing it does is, and it's happened both times I played it. On round one, you all start in the same square. We roll the same number, so we end up on the same square. So the situation that happened was, I met Isabel on the road. It's fun to travel together. And both of us got happy points, not just me.
Right.
Which was bad because I wanted to win, but instead she got points on my turn.
Imagine Jesse like playing this game and like, dang it, like getting super competitive about an entirely based game.
Yeah, that's the turnips. That's what gets me. They still have that. You buy them on the Sundays, and you have try to sell them for the profit Mondays through Saturdays. And this last game I played, 2 out of the 4 weeks was a loss, which they kind of blew.
Justin, we got to get. We're gonna move on just because we've got shenanigans. We've got other stuff going on. Justin, do you have anything playing this week? Good.
Yeah, actually, you know what I do? I'll be very quick about it. Santa was so kind this year as to gift me Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. And as you guys know, I love the Donkey Kong series, and I have been loving playing with my daughters, actually. I will also tell you, that is a tough game.
Yeah.
That is a tough game. Typically, I like to try and play with the girls together, right? Like, or they sit in my lap, or they play. They proceed about, I don't know, about maybe a quarter into a level, and they're like, yeah, Dad, nope, I am not playing. Here you go.
I have the original, or I have the, what is it, Donkey Kong Country Returns on 3DS.
Yep.
In that one, man, I was just like, ugh. Like, I'm like 3 worlds in, and I'm like, geez, I suck at this game.
One of the things I do like about it, especially when talking about like family play and parenting, is I do like the fact that so my youngest is playing. She's 5.
Hello, Justin. Oh dear. Anybody else?
I'm still here. Is Josh still here?
I'm
still here.
Pause. Oh. All right. That is our sign to kill video, by the way. I'm killing video. Kill your video.
I killed my video at the beginning by not having video.
Boo. All right, I'm going to end this call and then call everybody back because that sometimes fixes things.
Okay.
Oops. All right.
Mm.
Justin. Oh, now it's even like a dotted line. Justin, are you there? Hold on while we try to get the call back. Oh, Skype. It wouldn't be a recording of Nintendo Dads without Skype taking a dump.
Thank you, Microsoft.
Justin, stop downloading questionable content online. Jump to... Oh dear, you're gone. Oh wait, it didn't even... What? Call him back. I don't know what's...
Hello?
Hi.
There you are.
Is it me you're looking for?
Oh wait.
Is Josh with us?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, sweet mother of pearl. Everyone's here.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. And we're back. Okay, Justin, you were saying something.
Yeah, Donkey Kong Country. Really good to play with kids. I love playing it. I love the art style. This is done by Retro Games, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Retro Studios.
Yeah, it is so much fun. Like I said, love playing with the kids. I love the fact that when it gets too hard, I can just say, okay, I can pick up Rylan or Morgan. They're playing as either Diddy or Dixie, and then I take over, right? And I think for them, especially when a kid, it's very easy and adaptable that way. So I really enjoy that. I find the controls actually, it's on the gamepad as your primary. I mean, you can choose different control layouts. I find the gamepad actually very clunky. I find it's a lot of like, rub your, tummy, pat your head kind of like, I just, because you're using your analog stick for run, the shoulder buttons are like, I have to consciously think like, which are the shoulder buttons to do what I need to. I found when I just used the Wiimote sideways, I actually had better luck with that. And like, I had to shake it to get him to roll or pound the ground, but I actually found that the control's a bit tighter. But I would say overall, this is a really fantastic game. It's challenging. Like one of the toughest bosses I've ever like played is like the level 1 boss. Mm-hmm. We spent like 20 minutes trying to kill this damn thing. And it was super, super hard, but it's so enjoyable. And it is just a beautiful game. Like there's an entire stage where it's just black and the only thing that's red is like Donkey Kong's tie, and just aesthetically gorgeous. And I think when I'm watching the game, at times I'm actually distracted because I'm too busy watching how beautiful the game is. And I know, Josh, earlier in this call, you mentioned like hopefully Retro is working on some game for the NX launch. I hope they are, because if it's half as beautiful as this game, then man, we're going to be okay with the NX.
Yeah, I mean, they just always do a fantastic job visually and just gameplay and everything. They are literally my favorite developer. So yeah. I'm always very pleased with what they work on.
What else is coming out of their studio?
So they primarily just work on one game at a time. We don't really know what they're doing next. Right. They made all the Metroid Prime games, so.
Oh, right. That's where they are. That's where that background's from. So, but they had nothing to do with Other M, because that was Team Ninja, right? As I recall.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, and so I mean, hopefully, and I guess I was always kind of like, well, why is everyone so excited about Retro? Because we haven't heard from them. This is why. Like now it's like, oh yeah, okay, this is amazing. This is an amazing game. So. Yeah, I if you haven't picked it up, pick it up. It's a fantastic game, and for parenting, it's good. Or for parenting, but playing with as a parent to kids, it's good. Just definitely get yourself ready for a tough game. It is a hard game for sure.
It's right on. Well, let's head into our community spotlight, shall we?
Do it.
That is not the bumper I thought it was. So that's okay. Right on. So, of course, Community Spotlight is where we highlight somebody in the Nintendo internet thing community, like you do. And today, of course, we thought it was a perfect opportunity to let Josh kind of talk a little bit about what he's been doing online and what all of his awesome stuff that he's been working on. So, Josh, tell us a little bit about BitBlock. Like, how long have you been doing it for? What was sort of the inspiration? Tell us a tale.
Tell you a tale. So I've been doing it for nearly 10 years. This December is going to be 10 years since I started putting Nintendo-related videos on the internet, which makes me... It seems like it wasn't that long, but it also seems like it was maybe like 30 years ago that I was starting doing it. And I started it because I remember distinctly why. There were a lot of people on message boards that were really interested in some of the launch titles for the Wii, but a lot of people didn't know if they wanted to buy them. So I went nuts when the Wii launched, and I bought every launch game. So I did these like little video tours that were like in-depth tours talking over the gameplay as I was playing for like Elebits and Excite Truck and Monkey Ball and all that stuff. And it just kind of was really exciting to see like, you know, a lot of people watching them, and it was being really helpful that they were getting all this information about the game. And then it just constantly kind of snowballed into new ideas. Like, you know, we do The Fold, which is like, you know, us sitting down on camera playing a game, like a multiplayer game casually and just having a bunch of fun. And so, yeah, it was just really this process of snowballing over like 10 years time. And I've been just like in love with Nintendo and its characters since I was really, really young. I was like 5 years old playing the NES and stuff. And yeah, I mean, it's just been sort of this process of constantly slowly evolving.
I actually have a question that I've wondered for a while about, and it's when you're playing with your sorry, what was your friend's name that you play with in the Fold all the time?
Nick?
Yeah, when you're playing with Nick, like you're sitting on this couch, and I can't decide if this is just this wonderland that Josh Thomas lives in, or if it's a set. I don't know. You know, as far as how elaborately decorated your, you know, around your couches, like. What?
So I'm gonna maybe spoil the magic here a little bit. That is a set.
That's what I.
I literally sketched that out because like we used to play just in front of like a movie theater style curtain, and then eventually I was like, you know what? No, we're gonna like build a set. We're gonna get professional lighting and stuff, and it's just gonna be really cool. And I literally sketched that set out on a piece of paper, and then I went online and went into stores to try and find the furniture that matched what I sketched.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then everything else is just kind of like Nintendo memorabilia splattered all over the place. But the workspace, like my office area, which is in the same room as that, is just, I mean, maybe even more crap loads of Nintendo stuff than what you see on an episode of The Fold. I mean, like, if you could see what my eyes are looking at right now, it's just a mess of Nintendo stuff.
Nice. It's maybe not as like specifically crafted to look awesome on camera, but it's just as much of a Nintendo explosion, I guess. That's cool.
It is, yeah. I being in my 20s, I should not have this surrounding me right now. This is like a child's bedroom right now in this office.
No, I could probably do the same thing about my office, and I'm 41.
So there you go.
I have My Little Pony things going over on this wall. And
Jesse, I did not know. Are you a brony, Jesse?
You could say that. I am a fan of the show.
Oh, this is going to be a whole different podcast now.
Wow, this just took a whole left turn. Let's come back.
And you're just now figuring this out? How many times have I mentioned MLP?
I don't know. I didn't. That's amazing. Right on. So, but yeah, Josh, like I said earlier, I had discovered what you were doing. I had discovered your Animal Crossing videos, which I think is one of the. Would it be safe to say that is one of your kind of cornerstones, I guess? I don't know what else to call it, but like the thing that you do almost more than anything historically over the last several years. You've done a ton of those. Like what else? Like,
yeah, it's Animal Crossing coverage and playing Wii Fit in my underwear. Those are the two big things that I've done in video form. No, yeah, I mean, Animal Crossing was definitely and still continues to be like a huge thing that I do. Also, you know, The Fold is something that always pops up depending on what the game is.
Yeah, that's your other big one. And of course,
I want to step away from doing reviews because I feel like I'm not cut out to do reviews, but I've done a lot of reviews in the past, but I think I'm kind of maybe over that in a way. But what were you going to say? Of course.
Oh yeah, of course. You've got your new series. You've got your first episode up of Make Believe, right?
Right.
Which
right.
is, judging by your response afterwards, seemed like was much more successful than you anticipated with that first episode with Animal Crossing HD.
Yeah, I mean, when I was working on that, I would always have these like doubts. I'd always be thinking like, wait a minute, what am I doing? Who's going to want to watch a fake video game? Like, what is this? This isn't going to be something people want to watch. But then I also was a little bit confident in it. You know, I wanted it to be a success, and I was thinking like, oh, this could be something people are interested in. But I would go back and forth on it, like, you know, this is going to be the worst thing ever, and oh no, this is going to be good.
It's only got almost 200,000 views.
Yeah, so I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah.
Yeah, I loved and just the idea. I think, again, because of your background and your experience with graphic design and all that sort of stuff, the amount of care that went into that video and like just love of the franchise, I think was huge. It's very clear that you're super passionate about the Animal Crossing series and about Nintendo. And I think that if you guys haven't seen that yet, go over there now. You can even just TheBitBlock.com will redirect, won't it, straight to your YouTube page.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, and so like head over there and just check that out, and it's really great stuff.
We've also posted on our Facebook page for people to find.
There you go.
Oh, awesome! Thank you.
So what else? Like, what is the future of BitBlock? Of course, you've also done all the stuff with Roger, which, I'm
trying to forget all that stuff. Yeah, I guess I've done a few discussions with Roger.
Yeah.
There's no denying that.
One of the things I kind of want to say, Josh, from finding your content probably about a year ago as well, that I really respect and appreciate you for is your, actually just your recent episode with Roger, you're talking about you're both Nintendo fans. That's obvious, but you're also very honest in that fandom, right? Like, you're happy to call Nintendo, when something's not going well, you're happy to call them on it, right? And even your guys' E3 debrief of Star Fox and Federation Force, there's a level of honesty that I appreciate, that I think sometimes as fans of a topic, we can very often get our heads in the sand and not really think logically about it. So how is that?
Yeah,
do you receive much backlash from that, or
as I like to put it, and I consider myself the same way, you're fans, but you're not fanboys.
Yeah, I'd say that's a really good way.
I was just going to ask straight up, how long have you hated Nintendo for?
Oh, God, since I came out of the womb, I was like, look at this crappy company trying to do stuff. And this... I think, I don't know, I feel like if you really love a company and you respect them and they mean the world to you, you got to be willing to accept when you think they're doing something that's really bad. I'm not saying that I'm right all the time, I don't know, but like when I look at Chibi Robo Ziplash, I am a huge fan of Chibi Robo. On the GameCube, I just love that series. And so to see
another game that fits with what we talked about earlier, where people wanted the game, but we got a game that wasn't quite what we wanted.
Yeah. That sums up E3 pretty much last year.
That is true.
But yeah, seeing them take that and make a 2D platformer out of it, when Nintendo, I think, already makes too many 2D platformers these days to begin with, it's upsetting to me, and I want to call them out on that. And hopefully, they won't do that stuff anymore. If you want to make Chibi Robo, like, give us what that fan base wants. Why, you don't always have to like drastically throw everything out the window and change things up.
Well, they may have actually like successfully killed that franchise, right? There was saying, like, this may be the last Chibi Robo game if it doesn't do good, and like then they released some crappy 2D platformer. Like, well, great, thanks for killing Chibi Robo, Nintendo.
Yeah, I think if they're being honest with that, then I can't imagine that we're going to see Chibi Robo anymore, because that definitely bombed that game. Even with an Amiibo.
Yeah.
Which is why they packed it, right? Is that level of honesty and in kind of your, being okay to call Nintendo a spade when a spade is a spade, does that kind of draw or did that kind of drive you to the reason why creating Make Believe? And again, going back to the Animal Crossing HD, I'm new to Animal Crossing. I'm just coming to it in the last couple of months. I didn't want to pick up Amiibo Festival. I watched your video, and I even put in the Google, like the YouTube comments, I'm like, this is the game I want, right? Like, are you, like, is it some way kind of like trying to turn a mirror to Nintendo and saying, like, you could be doing this, but you're not? Like, here's an idea. Like, if you, we talked a little bit about it before pre-show, like, for the love of God, steal my idea, and please just do this.
Yeah.
Is that a little bit of that, or I don't know, what draws that?
Yeah, I think there's two inspirations behind doing Make Believe. One of them is definitely that. It's to be able to show not only Nintendo, but its like audience that like, hey, this could have been better. Like, this could be better, and like, here is an example of how it could be better. So yeah, there's a little bit of me like being pathetic and hoping that maybe these could influence something in the future. But then there's also really, first and foremost, it's just that I love doing that. I love designing things. I've been like working with like 3D design and modeling and texturing and animating don't know why I said animating instead of animating, but weird pronunciation. But yeah, for a long time, and it's funny because I mean it dates back to like 2005, I believe, when I would just like stay up late at night on my computer, like making renders of Mario levels that I wanted to see, and I redesigned Luigi's Mansion levels and stuff. And it just never really went anywhere. I was just doing it for my own entertainment, and then it just kind of, just stuck on the computer, never shared it with anyone. And then I started the BitBlock, and it was like, well, I didn't have the time to do it anymore. I always felt like, oh, I guess I'll never get around to doing that. And then one day I realized, oh, wait a minute, this could totally be just like a video feature at the BitBlock. So yeah, it's those two things. It's wanting to show that, like, hey, this could have been done better, and also I just love, working on that kind of stuff.
That's super cool. Yeah, right on, man. Well, we also have a bunch of Twitter questions that were submitted online, and I have a little bit of music here. I'm going to see if I can pull this up. Hopefully I don't get an ad. That would be annoying. I think this is only appropriate because it seems like we'll do a little bit of quick fire style answering of the questions here. Justin, you want to take the first one? Uh-oh, hello? Justin, did I lose everybody again?
I'm still here.
Did we lose Justin?
We might have.
All right, well, I'll read them then. How's that sound?
Sounds great.
All right, so this one we'll start off with at the Geek Gurus. It said, I love the Dream Suite episodes you do. When can we expect more?
New Leaf is a little bit old, so I think you're going to see more content related to Happy Home Designer Dream Suite stuff.
Yeah, how are you liking that game versus the New Leaf?
New Leaf is infinitely better to me personally.
Yeah, I got tired of that game pretty quick, actually, which was sad. Right on. This one is from Ace Gibbo. Sure. What do you want to see the most in the next Direct, which will likely be in January, in my opinion?
Give us some hints for what Nintendo NX could be like. Start hinting at it, I'd say.
Right on. Next
Can
up.
you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
Back. Justin. Right on.
Perfect. I'm going to go over to Matt also asked, when will you come on his podcast? Jack Sweeney asked, would you rather have Captain Rainbow localized or have the Jaws ride reopened at Universal Studios?
Okay, so I'll answer both of those. I never got an invite to this podcast. I don't get invited to podcasts until everybody else has been on them, apparently. So send me an invite. And then secondly, listen, Jaws ride trumps all, so I'd want the Jaws ride even more than Captain Rainbow being translated.
Nice. Next question comes from Faith Adam 35. Josh, what's your favorite Nintendo game of all time and why?
That would probably be Pikmin 2, because it is an amazing extension of the original game, which I already loved, and it's got so much content, and I just have tons of great summer memories of playing that battle mode with friends.
Nice.
And by the way, I am nobody will ever beat me in the battle mode at Pikmin 2 or 3. I'm throwing that down here right now.
Oh.
Challenges. Well, I think we're gonna have to set something up then. We'll have to set something up.
Is there online
Listen,
challenge for that? Is that? Or is it
that game is not online, no.
Oh.
So we're gonna have to fly to Josh's studio.
All right.
Yes, you'll have to come here.
That's the ultimate crossover.
On.
All right. Of course, you got to try to get trolled by your good friend Roger. We'll leave that to your own discretion, sir. Matthew asks, how do you react to controversy directed towards you?
Yeah, I mean, this is probably speaking about the fact that, I'll call Nintendo out when I don't like what they're doing. I don't know. I mean, when you're publicly on the internet, you just expect that kind of stuff, and you just kind of pay more attention to the good stuff that is said.
It's kind of a sign that you've made it, isn't it? To a certain extent.
Maybe. I guess let's just assume that.
Let's just go for that, right? All right. Shermar, probably said that wrong. Williams asks, how are you so darn fashionable? And it says supporting you from Jamaica.
Oh my gosh. I don't know that I am. I guess I just try.
You enjoy certain types of shoes, though, for sure. We've seen some of those.
Oh my god! Listen, when you guys come to play Pikmin, I got to show you my shoe museum room. I have a whole room that is nothing but shelves of my shoe collection.
Nice.
That's incredible. Did you ever find those shoes that you have pinned on your board?
I have not. Let's send out an alert for people that want to try that.
Yeah, Twitter.com/BitBlock, the pinned tweet those shoes, if you can find those shoes, that's incredible. Those are awesome.
It's like winning the lottery. I will give you some cash just for helping me find those shoes.
I was gonna say, I like how we were almost like going down like an Amber Kid alert of like, if you find this, everyone look out, this thing is happening. So,
Not a next to everybody in the area.
yeah. XG993 says, besides Captain Rainbow, who would you really like to see in the next installment of Smash Brothers?
I would really like to see 9Volt from WarioWare because he has the best micro games in that series, and he's obsessed with Nintendo. So seeing him fight against Nintendo's characters would be some delicious, awesome irony. And he's got a lot of personality in his design and stuff.
Very cool.
Nice, excellent. Man in the Flan asks, how do you feel about the NX possibly being a digital-only console?
I mean, I'm perfectly fine with that. Most of my games now are just digital. I guess that it's fun to display them on a shelf, but my shelves are already filled with Amiibo and other crap, so it's like Disney and Nintendo stuff. So I have no more shelf space, so I'm okay with it being digital.
Nice. Let's see, this is Digi Voxel, I think. Any more spoilers for your next Make-Believe?
All right, let's do this, guys. I'm going to literally tell you guys here on your podcast what episode 2 for Make Believe is going to be about. You guys ready? This is an exclusive. I was going to hide this until literally the last minute, but what the heck. So episode 2 of Make Believe is going to be all about totally revamping the battle mode in Mario Kart for NX and making it something incredibly special. So the whole theme is Mario Kart's battle mode.
Oh, very cool. I like that. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is exclusive for our podcast. Thank you.
That was kind of lacking in recent installments, wasn't it?
In Mario Kart 8.
Oh yeah, Mario Kart 8 didn't even have battle maps.
That sounds awesome. I'm really looking forward to that.
And
Josh, hopefully you guys like it.
Yeah, absolutely. And the follow-up question would probably be like, and when can people expect this new video?
It's going to be towards the end of next month, February.
Nice, end of February. I like it. Thank you. Yeah, man, that's awesome. Exclusive, and you heard it here first, guys, on the Nintendo Dads podcast. We don't invite him on. We give him a hard time. We don't play his games, and then he gives us this. So,
and then I gave you guys that bit of info.
A gentleman and a scholar, indeed. And we'll have to come lose to Pikmin at his house. Neo77 asked, what inspired you to create the BitBlock? We talked about that. And then the statement is, and has it turned out differently than first expected? So that's an interesting question.
I mean, I guess one of the things that a lot of people who make videos online would probably realize is that sometimes you can pour your heart into a video and put so much effort into it, and then it gets like nobody who cares. Like, it doesn't really get a lot of attention. And then other times you'll make something that is like you didn't even want to upload the video because you thought like, who'd want to watch this? And it's incredibly popular. So that's probably something I never would have anticipated, that like the amount of work you put into something is not really going to be a good litmus test for how well it's going to perform.
It seems like that even happens on our episodes. Like randomly we'll have downloads one week and we're like, wait, what?
The two videos I did was like live commenting on a direct, or like we did two of them. I don't remember what the other one was. And those got like 600,000 or to 1,000 views in the first 48 hours. I'm like, where did these people come from?
That's crazy.
We don't have that many people listening to the show.
Don't tell him that. He might leave right now. Tony Stacy asks, what's your favorite thing about Nintendo? That's a pretty open question.
That is a hard question to answer. I love that nobody will ever compete with Nintendo's ability to create really memorable characters and franchises. I mean, there will never be anybody that can even create something that's even close to being as iconic as Mario, or even like The Legend of Zelda. So it's their characters that I definitely think is the best thing about Nintendo.
Nice. Fun Dudes 12345 asks, what retro Nintendo franchise would you want to revive?
Wow, they've done a lot of them, but I don't know. I guess Ice Climber, because I've already put a ton of thought into that. So I guess I'm gonna have to say Ice Climbers.
Zach's a big Ice Climber fan.
Yeah, I was really sad when they didn't show up in Smash Brothers. By the
yeah.
way, here's
a preview for episode 3 right there.
Yeah, dude.
Well, maybe. Listen, I've done a lot of work on Ice Climbers concepts, so maybe, I don't know.
Glad I can help.
Zach, what were you asking there?
I was just wondering if you're going to read the username of the next one.
Oh, I will. Spongy Monkey.
That's not what it says.
As
That is not what it says.
and in spongy.
Oh.
Chris B.
Yeah, Chris B from Twitter asks, if you were in charge of Smash Brothers DLC, who would you have added?
Okay, I would have added 9-Volt, like I said, from WarioWare. I would have added Captain Rainbow, of course. I'm in love with that game series and the developer. I would have added Professor Layton is one that I would have liked to see. Definitely has a history on Nintendo handhelds. And then also Paper Mario. I mean, I know that some people would be like, oh, another Mario rep, but I don't know. Paper Mario is very different, and I love that series, so Paper Mario would have been cool.
Nice.
Yeah, his recover could be like turning into a paper airplane and floating back.
Yeah, totally.
Baking Jeans asks, what's your favorite book?
this is going to be a good one to pick. I have a book that I recently got this year, which is a complete, like this thick book, all about the history of the Jaws ride at Universal Orlando Resort. That is my favorite book.
That is amazing.
Wow.
That's awesome. Finally, the last question is by Aquizero on Twitter. It says, if Nintendo were to create a new IP on the NX, what genre of game would you like it to be? Side scroller not allowed.
Okay, I would not have picked side scroller. I want them to go back to 3D platformers, so if they can't do it with Mario for some reason, give us a big open world 3D platformer with some new character maybe.
Right on.
There's actually a couple other questions that didn't come through in the filter that I was looking at. Luigi Fan 1010 asks, "What's your favorite Pikmin enemy? What's your main Splatoon weapon and favorite Animal Crossing villager?"
Okay, favorite Pikmin enemy. That's so hard because there are so many amazing enemies in that series. In Pikmin 2, there is a giant Empress Bulborb, and she poops out her young, and her young larvae start attacking you. It's like this massive, gross, sluggish Bulborb. And then in Pikmin 3, I've also got to say the whip tongue Bulborb that has this like long little tongue that it spits out at you is adorably horrifying. So I love that one as well. Favorite Splatoon weapon? Oh my gosh, I don't even know the names of them. I use like kind of a basic one. I don't know the name of it. Just like one of the basic ones is what I perform best with. I also like the rollers, but I usually just go with the basic gun. And then what was the last part of that question?
The last part was your favorite Animal Crossing villager.
My favorite Animal Crossing character or villager? I'm just gonna go with Tom.
They say villager in this.
Okay, villager. I hate so many of them though. I remember the ones that I don't like more than the ones that I do like. Oh, Joey the duck. He's like this basic little cute duckling. I'm gonna go with him.
Yeah.
Nice. And the final question and it says, how many kids would you like to have?
With them or
I think it might be in general.
Is
this an
I don't
Listen,
know.
I am
Another exclusive.
I will fit into this podcast I'd be a Nintendo dad then.
There you go.
How many kids would I like to have? Depends on how much money I have, I guess. If I had a lot of money, I guess more. Not so much money, maybe just one or two.
Sweet. Right on.
I don't know if the world really wants me to have kids yet. I don't think they're ready for that.
Nice.
They'd be fashionable Animal Crossing loving children.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
Who have an opinion about Nintendo one way or the other.
Right, there you go.
Nice.
Right on. Well, good thing, everybody. I'm going to turn this up. In case you didn't get annoyed with this music yet, 13 minutes in, by the way. Thank you, YouTube, for a 30-minute extended version of Slider on Super Mario 64.
I'm sure if you look hard enough, you can find a 10-hour version.
Oh, I'm sure I could.
Oh, yeah.
But right on. Thanks for that not so lightning round. It's amazing. And thanks everybody for submitting questions. Right on. What else do we got going on, Justin? Anything else found out?
Just so we round out, we actually do have kind of one really interesting challenge from Eli, our good friend Eli in Australia, regarding Mario Maker.
Oh, you know what? Here, I haven't had a chance to play my bumper yet.
Okay.
We're going to put it in.
Sure.
Because I like my bumper.
That's fair.
There we go. All right. So that's our I lost the word. What's the word? Listener mail.
Yeah. Okay.
So there we go. Yeah. So Eli, challenge.
Yeah. So Eli sent this to me in a direct quote. He said, "Thank you, Nintendo, for all your amazing content. I've created a Mario Maker level called Over the Pit of Despair, and I'll put the actual code up on our.
Is that a Princess Bride reference?
I don't know. I'll have to ask him that.
It's of despair.
He says the following. He goes, I challenged Nintendo dads to beat it last week. They tried, but did not succeed yet. It is quite a hard level, actually. I challenge all Nintendo dad Patreons to try it. He goes, I am happy to give a little gift towards the dad's trip to either E3 or PAX. So I will gift $1 to the dads for each Nintendo dad Patreon or patron that can beat my level.
What?
Just let me know when you did it. So any Nintendo dad patron, if you beat the level, Eli will give $1 to our cause. And he says it's currently got a clear rating of 5 out of 38 who have played it, so don't give up. And he also said if Zach, Jesse, or Justin beat it, I will give each of them $5.
Whoa.
And if you're a listener that is on the fence about becoming a Nintendo Dad's patron, this might encourage you to become one, to join us. He goes, I will give $2 for each new Nintendo Dad's patron who signed up in 2016 that manages to solve this problem.
Really?
Yes.
Well, hey, man, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I will put out that. So basically, guys, here's the deal. Eli is willing to put some Patreon money on the line to help us create more amazing content. We're very actively mentioning that we're looking to try and maybe get to either E3 or PAX West this year, provide some Nintendo Dad coverage, and Eli is wanting to try and find a way to support that in a creative, fun way with our community. So I'll be posting out the link to his challenge on Super Mario Maker, and guys, feel free to give it a shot. So thank you, Eli, for doing that. He's a huge Mario Maker fan and a huge member in our Patreon community. Josh, do you play Mario Maker at all?
I played it a lot in the fall when it came out, but unfortunately I haven't gotten back to it. But I really like it. It's a lot of fun.
Totally agree. Right on. Yeah, I've kind of fallen off the bandwagon, but I need to invest some more time, especially in this level here. It seems like there are particular parts in this level that are like, I'm like, wait, is this even possible? But it has to be possible.
So for those who don't know, Eli has set up a level that is only 1 minute long, and it is a fantastic puzzle. But it's like, I know I spent I think like 25 to 30 minutes playing it, and I'm like, I can't figure it out. Like, it's got to be something simple that I'm just missing.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I'm gonna spend more time with it. But yeah, right on.
Before we transition out, I guess, hey, Josh, where can we direct all of our listeners to the amazing stuff that you do?
That would be youtube.com/WeFolderJosh. I think that's what the URL is. It's WeFolderJosh on YouTube for some reason, because that's what it is originally, and you can't really technically change the URL. And then just basically the BitBlock on any social media. I'm pretty sure I'm everywhere, Twitter and Facebook and all that.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely subscribe to Josh's channels and follow him on social media. It's fantastic content. If you guys like what we do, you'll definitely love what Josh does. Such creativity, and man, I am super excited to see the next Make Believe, because man, now I'm really pumped about the Mario Kart.
Yeah, and if you want to see somebody who clearly hates Nintendo as a Nintendo Direct, follow him as well.
Well, I made a separate account for all that stuff. Sometimes it leaks onto the normal account. Sometimes I just can't help it.
No, right on. Yeah, I think it's awesome and absolutely pretty good at the interaction there as well too. So that's pretty cool. Thanks again for being on the show, man. It was great.
Yeah, thank you.
Are you kidding? Thanks for having me, guys. I mean, sure, I was like the 15th choice, but I appreciate it nonetheless.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll have both you and Roger on to have some sort of brawl at some point.
That's got to happen.
So Bill Trinan, if you're listening, Twitter us. We want.
Yeah. Get Bill on here.
I think maybe the next some kind of direct or something. Maybe we need to bring in, or breaking news, bring in Roger, bring in Andre, bring in Josh. Kind of getting that big conversation, everyone together, and that'd be like a meeting of the minds.
That'd be a great round table. That'd be sweet.
Break Skype.
Right on.
I'm down.
Right on. Well, of course, if you want to follow us on the social medias, you can do so. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram @Nintendo Dads. You can email us, nintendodads@gmail.com. If you want to watch our videos and such, head over to Twitch and YouTube at Nintendo Dads over there. You can find us. Call in and leave us a voicemail. That's 929-25-NDADS, 929-256-3237. Big thanks to OC Remix for our music throughout the show, as well as to Carter Johnson for our amazing artwork. Head over to megacarter.tumblr.com and check her out. She's got some great stuff over there. She's the best. Of course, if you want to change the world, head over to iTunes and leave us a 5-star rating and written review, all that good stuff. That's going to help get Nintendo Dads into all of the ear holes of everybody looking for us. So do it. It's great. Of course, if you want to download us, subscribe over at iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Music, or, of course, VGTribune.com. For me, for Justin, for Jesse, and for Josh, I wish my name was started with J all of a sudden. Anyway, see you next time. Bye-bye. Oh, wait a minute. No.
That was abrupt.
So we're sending into Nintendo Dads.
There we go. Oh, jeez.
You haven't cropped that yet?
No, that was like it. I had the playlist on loop, so.
Oh.
First day at the office.
I'll fix that.
I still say the show where we had 4 Zacks on at the same time was epic.
Oh, that was the worst, man. Right on. Well, thanks again, dude.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
I've been a fan for a long time. It was great to finally connect, and
Yeah, totally.
Sweet.
I am definitely down for the Roger and Andre podcast as well.
Man, that'd be great.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to arrange it. I know that typically, like, I see that in the chatter of, like, if a direct is about to come out or predictions to a direct, I see you guys jump on typically. Kind of that conversation. We'd be happy to, you guys, we can